Hello video viewers, hello my dear students. Today's video is, guess what? It's a poem by William Wordsworth, my favorite one. Okay. So the lyric poem I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth is considered to be one of his best poems in modern times. The poet here narrates a small incident in which he got an opportunity to see a huge number of daffodils in a valley. The poem consists of 4 stanzas having 6 lines each. Okay, so the poem we will describe, we will learn, I will explain the poem stanza wise, and so it will be totally easy. So students, problems are never too big. We just overthink about it. So I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So this is the first stanza of the poem. In the first stanza, the poet says that he was wandering lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. The phrase here refers to him being roaming around without any purpose. You know, students, poets are all like this. They roam without any purpose, not like us. That's why they are poets. He was all alone. Poet also loves to walk alone. So he also was all alone like a cloud that floats high in the valley. Okay. Usually the clouds are not alone, but here the poet probably refers to a fragment of cloud that moves among the hills in the valley. Unlike the clouds that are full of rain and thus move in purpose, this fragment has no particular direction to move and just roams around above the valley. While roaming in the valley, he suddenly sees a crowd, a host. What? A golden daffodils. The words crowd here in the poem and host mean a large number of people. Hence, the poet uses personification, means the poet thinks that the daffodils are the people. That is called personification. Make the daffodils persons, means he guess. That is called personification, that the daffodils are the human beings or people, and the daffodils also have the human qualities according to the poet. The poet calls daffodils golden rather than yellow in order to express their majesty and beauty. Okay, according to the poet, he sees a large number of daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, along with the shore of lake and below the trees, because they are small in size. The daffodils seem to be fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Again, the poet personifies the daffodils by showing them as flapping wings of birds. Okay, sometimes flaps. So, showing them as flapping and dancing like human beings in the moving breeze. Thus, the poet personifies the daffodils, okay, as a human being. In a way, the poet imagines as if the daffodils possesses the qualities of both, thus of the world and this is the example of daffodils in the poem I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. Okay, so that's all for the first stanza. Come to the second stanza. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Wow, what a line, okay? The second stanza begins with the comparison between daffodils along the lake and stars in the Milky Way. The poet says that the daffodils stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. The bay here refers obviously to the lake. According to the poet, the daffodils which covers the shore of the lake seems to be unending like the stars in the sky, and like them, the stars in the Milky Way, like them, they were two means two twinkling like stars, the daffodils. The phrase 10,000 saw I at a glance is mean that the poet saw a large number of daffodils which he could not count. That's why 10,000. So the poet guessed the daffodils were tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The word head here refers to the top part of the flower. Okay. Sprightly dance means lovely and lively dance. Okay. The daffodils were thus moving their heads, means the flowers, daffodil flowers, in a rhythm which looked quite amazing and seemed to the poet as they were dancing. Come to the third stanza. Students, I hope you understand the meaning. I am explaining in English as because you are from English medium school and you should understand English. And English is not our mother tongue. That's why you have to read English, learn English, listen English, drink English, eat English. Sorry, I just kidding. Stanza 3. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. In the third stanza, the poet begins in the waves waving in the lake. The poet says that the waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. In glee means in joy. Sparkling means the shining of the shine of the daffodils like stars. This line means that there were waves too, which seemed to be dancing in the lake. But the joyful dance of the daffodils was far better than theirs. And for the poet, like Wordsworth himself, their joyful company was the ultimate source of pleasure. What else? So these lines somehow reflect the ideals of the romantic age. Okay? Which age? When Wordsworth was there. Okay? So the ultimate source of joy for the poet was the nature. Okay? And the daffodils. So, hence, in the poem, the poet concludes that seeing the daffodils dancing along the lake is the dream of every poet, including Wordsworth. And being there is like dream comes true. And thus the poet gazed and gazed, means keep looking on the daffodils and their dance. However, he could not fully appreciate the beauty. Okay, here wealth means happiness and the nature and its beauty was the ultimate wealth here. And because it was abundance, he could take away just a little bit of it, though he kept watching them. Okay, so come to the fourth stanza. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Wow, what a nice line. In the fourth and the final stanza, okay, the poet says that while sitting on his couch is like a bench or sofa, and in vacant means when he is idle, when he is lazy, when he has no work to do. Or in pensive mood, here pensive mood means when he is sorrowful. The memories of those daffodils flash upon his inward eyes. Okay, his spiritual or romantic vision here. Okay, so their memory then becomes the source of joy in his mind. Okay, source of joy in his solitude mind. His heart is then filled with pleasure and dances with the daffodils. Thus the memory of the daffodils becomes his companion in his solitude and taking away all his sorrows and boredom make his spirit dance with them. So that is the poem, students. In the poem, the poet uses various things to describe the beauty, joy and elegance of the beautiful daffodils. In stanza 2, he compares daffodils with a galaxy of stars. In stanza 3, he compares them with the waves of the lake. The poet thus wants us to feel the beauty of nature. Okay, so that's all, students. I hope you understand the simile here, that is lonely as a cloud. Here is the simile, lonely as a cloud, as the stars that shines. Okay, and the poet personifies the daffodils as a cloud, a host of golden daffodils. Okay, because dancing in breeze, tossing their heads in sprightly dance, waves beside them danced. Okay, so that is the description of the poem. I hope students you understand. So that's all for today, and we will meet you soon with another attractive video. So goodbye and thank you for listening.